Well, historically, unfortunately, nuclear power plants or plants connected to the grid have been used to make plutonium to make bombs. Hanford is in the United States. It was a dual-use plant. It was connected to the grid. It made bombs. In the case of the Swedes and the Russians and the British and the French, same story, and same with India. We even thought about taking a power plant that was civilian and making it into a plutonium and tritium production machine. Luckily, the Cold War ended and we didn't do it, but that machine is no different than any other light water reactor in the United States or the world. So all these things can be exploited to make weapons plutonium. Next slide. In fact, we had a scare with this reactor, which is a light water reactor, not that dissimilar to the kind we have in the States. When it unloaded all of its fuel in 2012, we were frightened that they might take that fuel and make bombs. They would have been able to make something like 20 to 25 nuclear weapons. Luckily, they didn't leave the building with the material. If they had, the concern was, next slide, that they could have put it through a chemical stripping plant to get the plutonium out of the spent fuel, and that would make bomb material. And this facility could be as small as 130 by 60 by 30 feet. It would fit in a warehouse. You wouldn't know about it. And so at the time when they did that unloading, there were 13 or so drones flying over that facility at all times to make sure that we knew if they left. Why? There were no inspectors at the plant. So I mean, this is the problem, still a problem later on. Next slide. Then you have the problem that some countries are trying to justify doing uneconomical activity in the form of stripping the fuel out in commercial reprocessing plants. These are variously one in India, Japan, China, France, Russia, and South Korea that they're working on. These plants, if they were ever, in some cases made hundreds of bombs worth of material and could make, literally in the case of the Japanese, 1,000, 1,500 bombs worth, really large numbers per year. These are super uneconomical systems, but the governments are behind them. And so, you have to worry about this as well with regular conventional reactors. Their spent fuel to be put through these plants. Next slide. And then there's enrichment, a different process where you take uranium and you make it have an isotope, U-235, that becomes 80 to 100%. And this you have to do for economic nuclear power. And so there's a problem here. What you do is you enrich it only to like 3 to 5%, but it's very easy to keep going. That's a big problem as well. This comes with conventional large nuclear power plants.